months ago, I purchased a 20-year-old Land Cruiser. I was in Australia, but the vehicle in South Africa. It's for my own use in Africa when I visit to come and explore. And now I'm here to rebuild this vehicle and turn it into an Overland tourer. Well, it's too bad if I didn't like it, eh? See, I paid for it. I'm Andrew St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and then travelling to the remotest parts of the world.
So we decided to change it to the right colour.
In Australia that's called sandy taupe. Here, what do they call it?
I don't know, I got the sample from the...
It is a Toyota colour. I don't know, they call it a different colour here, but I think it's a lovely colour. I spent yesterday showing the cruiser to the project manager, that's Paul Marsh, and he's brought me to a Land Cruiser specialist near Cape Town.
Paul, Andrew,
Mate.
how are you, man? Good to see you, hey? Back in Africa?
Yeah. This is Sneyman's four-wheel drive in Brackenfell outside Cape Town. I've driven past here so many times on my way up to R&D, and every single time I've driven past, it's always, oh, what have they got? Because they've always got interesting Land Cruisers here.
There's always stuff parked outside. There's always amazing projects that these guys do.
Yeah.
Are these vehicles Uber imports from Australia and sources them, and people bring them to him to rebuild? And what's really interesting, a truck will come in like this and often in much worse condition. I've seen some of them really, you wouldn't want to even think about rebuilding it. And the whole process starts, and you'll take this old vehicle and you'll see the potential because it's actually probably still original. And they'll strip it down to every last nut and bolt. The body comes off the chassis. Everything gets redone. And you have this beautiful vehicle emerging from what was probably a rusty old heap. It's just very rewarding.
There's actually one inside, isn't there? The blue one.
A beautiful one.
We need to go and see we're going to have a look at that in a minute.
I mean, they have done modifications and changes that you cannot believe.
So your business model is I will find the best to do all of these different jobs, manage a project and deliver a vehicle. Like
I mindfully choose who I want to work with in South Africa, because it really is about, choosing companies that have got the right values that align to who I am and what my values are.
Yes.
And when I looked for someone who could do mechanical work, it's something we used to do ourselves in the UK.
Yes.
But now, you're working with someone, there's a lot of trust you're putting into a company when you're taking someone's vehicle and you want them to do it for one of your clients.
Yes.
So I spend a lot of my time making sure that I work with the guys to check that the work is done to the standard I would want it done for my vehicle, and that they're using the right parts. I trust the workmanship, and like anything, we want to just make sure that the client gets what they deserve and the vehicle's prepared to the standard to take them across Africa. Let me introduce you to Hubert, Andrew. I'm going to go and fetch him and bring him out. I know he's very excited to see you and very keen to see the truck.
I have a feeling that I'm about to... You see, I know the basics. These guys are in a different league when it comes to machinery, mechanics, drivetrains, engines, okay? I'm about to learn an enormous amount. And that is not... that really is fantastic for me.
Hubert, meet Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I know this car.
You know this car?
Yes, a couple of years back it came on a trailer. The whole roof was flat.
What do you mean that the roof was flat?
Yeah, it was a massive accident. We had to fit in other roof, and
so you fitted
the roof, and the whole fender was cut off. And the back chassis part was bent.
Well, that's not great news.
No, not really.
Is that why it was sprayed?
I think so. Yeah, you can see all the markings.
I don't see any marks.
What do you reckon, eh? I don't know.
Well, we did a good job on it.
The job's not bad. It isn't bad.
And there's no crack.
It didn't crack, which is good. I bet if we go on the inside, we'll find the welds.
But usually
we should show him the welds.
We usually hide the welding so good.
What colour was it before?
Yellow, yeah. Yellow.
I think so.
It's like a primer colour.
Yeah.
Because this is a silver car.
It was, yeah. No, it's the same car.
It is the same car.
Yeah, absolutely. You sure of it?
I should still have photos.
You can't honestly believe that that's the case, but the look on your face is priceless.
This is not how I was hoping to look at this moment.
We had to catch you. We had to. It was too priceless to actually ask.
You mean you're b***ing me?
We are absolutely taking. I couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist it.
Okay, full marks, but you do understand this is not going to go unanswered. Okay. Okay, and I will never trust you again.
It was just too tempting.
Good one, good one. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, to be honest.
And it's not been cut and it hasn't been in an accident, but we couldn't resist.
I know this car. The artist was in a massive accident and had no roof. And then the chassis was bent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
Okay. Should we go and have coffee so I can calm down a bit?
Well, I think, Yobe and I have been very excited about the project because, he knows me. We're very passionate about these 80s and the 105s. And this particular 105, it's a great color. It's a lovely, looks in very good condition. And the mechanical stuff we are going to go through and pull apart and change, but you do that on any vehicle. And that's to be expected. I mean, we know that all the time when we pull diffs apart, we check the backlash and we redo wheel bearings and, as we go through the whole car, bumper to bumper. So we're expecting to find stuff on this car, but there's nothing that can't be repaired because of the integrity of the body, and we'll look inside just now, is good. But that's, for me, is the key thing. The chassis, the body, gearbox can be repaired. Diffs can be repaired. There's always a balance to strike on what you're going to spend on a car. And you never want to pick a car that you've got to do everything because then the bill becomes enormous and ridiculous.
Yes. I always say you can buy a car that's mechanical rough, but if you buy a car that's a rattle box, it's difficult to repair that.
Okay.
But mechanical you can repair and take it back to new.
Right.
But the rattle box, then you start.
Yes. It's just not a rattle box.
No, well, you can see. The door lines. That's what I'm looking at.
It drove well. It didn't. It was solid on the road. The suspension layout is not good, but
you're going to change that.
But the basic feel of the gearbox, the pull, solid, good. It's a good solid vehicle. It doesn't actually feel 20 years old and 300,000. So,
that's not a lot
and I
of
actually even
mileage.
drove it on a little bit of gravel road. It wasn't. I didn't suddenly hear a whole lot of really horrible noises. Not at all. So I think it's good and solid.
And they always say, 1HZ, you run these engines in at 100,000
Exactly.
kilometers. So in fact, it's got 200,000 or 300,000 kilometers. It's actually not a lot. If the engine is sounding good, is not using a lot of oil, is not smoking massively, they go on for a long, long time.
Yeah, it smokes a little bit on a startup.
Yeah, but they all do that.
They all do it.
Fine.
It's smooth. It's not particularly heavy on fuel. I measured my fuel consumption. It's a little bit heavier than normal, but not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not. It's gear change is all good. The gearbox shift, good, smooth. Clutch has got a judder in it. We're going to sort that. Yeah. Brakes have got there's obviously one of the discs, maybe two have got a warp because when you brake lightly, you can feel the,
See, that's the knowledge of knowing what you, when you're going to look at a car, knowing what you're going to change. It's like walking into a home and going, I can see the bigger picture. I paint this, I put this, do the garden up, and it'll be a really nice home. Well, this is someone's home. So what we want to look at and say, what are we changing? What are we going to make new? And what integrity, like Hubert says, the integrity of the body, the chassis, the engine, the gearbox, they're strong, especially in these models. So if these are intact and good, then the work you have to do can be looked at as service, maintenance, preventative, making more reliable.
Right.
And also the 105 and the 80 was built on the same principle.
Yes.
Same chassis, same suspension.
Yes.
It's basically just the brakes and the hubs that's different.
Yeah.
So you've got something that works. It's not something new that needs to be tested. these cars are proven to work.
Look, you can't knock, take someone taking a brand new vehicle if you're buying a brand new vehicle. I think what I look at in these older vehicles is, one is they're a simple vehicle that can take bad fuel. And you don't have to go far in Africa where you were likely to pick up some really bad fuel.
We did.
Yep,
Yeah, when
we
we
did
drove.
actually, you're right, when we drove through Hansi. So, that can happen, and then you're sitting really high and dry when you've got a car that can't drive on bad fuel, So it's considering where you're going to have it worked on in Africa, what their knowledge base is, what spares are available, so that you can actually prepare the vehicle knowing you're going to get help, you're going to get spares, and it's not the latest cutting edge technology which hasn't crept into the smaller places where you might be, which are really remote. And I think that's where vehicles like this and others serve their niche on long distance remote overland travel.
I would like some coffee, yes, actually, since you asked.
You've got a shot of brandy, we throw it in.
A bit of
I can still see the camera shake.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think now. I can't actually concentrate on the vehicle. I'm just thinking about how to get you back. I haven't come up with anything quite yet, but I will.
The number of times I've been on a trip with this bugger, and it's who's going to catch who first. So I'm one up. Yeah.
I think you might
guess
be
I
more
should
than
be-
one up, actually.
I should be worrying a bit.
Yeah, I would. That's the whole point of this.
Exactly.
Just that you worry. In the next episode, and in the weeks ahead, Paul, Hubert and I will be untangling the history of this vehicle by stripping down its major components and rebuilding them. Our aim is to create a long-lived overland tourer. What we will find and what it will cost to fix is all ahead of us.